Hello, this is Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Welcome home. Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey, it's Amy from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey Clubbers, it's Scott from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, it's Kathleen from DVC Clubhouse.
Welcome aboard. It's Phil from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Debrief podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse. This is Amy, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Phil, Kathleen, and Scott. Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome aboard, guys.
The delayed welcome aboard.
Yeah, I'm using the app. So our recording software, Riverside, came out with an app. So I decided to use that on my computer today. And typically I stay muted for the whole podcast and just hit the space bar to speak, but that's through the web browser. And here I was hitting the space bar furiously on the app and it wasn't working. So yeah, you get a little bit of a delay there.
What's up, guys?
Oh, my goodness gracious. So you guys just came back from a fun little impromptu stay at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah,
We
we were
did.
getting updates all day long. Everybody was jealous.
I think it was a good day for sure.
Well, I enjoyed the Scott updates. They made me laugh. And for our listeners, we're talking about the Facebook updates. These were not just private text messages. These were
No, those are whole different pictures and
Yeah.
messages that we get in the private text. They're definitely not family friendly.
Yeah, I would get kicked
Right.
off of the group and
Right.
Facebook in general. But no, we had a good day.
your posts made me laugh.
Well, good.
Hashtag Old Key West video.
Yes, the classic. That will never make the page. Sorry, everybody. But anyway, we had a good first time ever at the Animal Kingdom Kilimanjaro Club Level. We got a studio for one night on a Friday night and just spent the entire day, early Friday, got up there early around, 8 o'clock?
We got there like about 8:30.
And spent just the entire day hanging out at the resort. The beautiful thing of DVC is, I guess I was telling Kathleen this is the first time I've ever stayed on property for one whole day and did not go to a park. So
So you stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge for the entire day.
I was
We
going
did.
to ask that because every update you were sending every hour was just a new photo from inside the lodge.
well, the idea
different
was to
drink.
work.
Yes.
Yes, the idea was to work. I did
How
bring
did
my
that work
my
out for
computer.
you?
I I got nothing done at all.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I got nothing done until maybe later that night. But no, it was. I guess You want to start at the beginning because it's like I was not expecting. We checked in, at the guard gate there. We told him that we were checking in. We parked our car. We had our bags. We walked up to the front, and before we walked into the resort, we were greeted by our very own concierge, who asked if we were the Huff Party, and I was not expecting that.
No.
This is we're not used to club level by any means at all. And for him to, it's like the guy at the airport waiting for you with the sign. I just wasn't ready for that.
No.
And so we, of course,
Yeah,
said
the
yes.
last time someone said, "Are you Scott Huff?" and you said yes, you ended up getting carted away in cuffs. So there was a bit of an awkward silence there.
Yeah, I thought immediately my picture had been hung up somewhere. And, if you see this man at Animal Kingdom, report him immediately. But
Like Flynn Rider.
Yeah.
yeah,
Scott tried to throw him the smolder. It didn't work.
Yeah.
not one bit.
Before you continue, let me ask you, when did you actually book this room?
Last week.
Yeah, it was last week. We found it.
I always look through, the site almost like maybe once a day, once every other day, just to see what's available, just because I'm nosy. And I saw that on a Friday, and I'm like, grabbing it.
And those are unicorns. Those are hard to get.
How many points was it?
26.
26?
So a little bit more because it's April and a little bit more because it was a Friday night. I think if we would have got it the next night,
It was
23.
23, yeah.
So it was a little bit cheaper on the other nights, but I couldn't pass it up. And we did a video. We're going to put a video up. We did take video of the food and the room and everything, but I did mention on the video how I feel like this is probably going to be the best use of your DVC points that you could possibly have based on the amenities.
And and it was a Savannah view, right?
All of the club level rooms are Savannah view. So just depending on which side you're on, it depends on which Savannah you're looking at.
What floor were you on?
6th.
6th. So fun fact, there's 55 actual guest rooms that are designated for club level. And there are 15 on the 6th floor that are just designated for DVC only.
Yeah.
So you're going to find the other ones down on floor number 4 and floor number 5. But
Those are the cash.
those can be
club
cash.
level.
Yes.
I want to get back to the amenities because that's what I'm so curious about. So years ago, we had friends stay at Poly Club level. And when they did the financial breakdown, they decided that it was worth the upcharge for the club level. Number one, just because of the access and they liked it, but they were able to eat so many meals out of the club level room that by the time they did the cost analysis versus going into the park or eating lunch, it came out pretty close. So I'm really curious just to hear the amenity breakdown aside from the guy greeting you at the door. So I'm curious for you to walk us through and just all the differences that you saw between the typical DVC rooms and the club level amenities.
Well, I think when you get off the elevator, first of all, you have to have your magic band to get up to the 6th floor. So nobody's going to be running around up there unless you are club level. Once you get up there, they have a podium up there with the concierge. There's its own, there's a restroom up there, their own designated restroom that's up there before you even get to the, I guess it's like a dining area. I don't know what you would call that, but like a little dining gathering area. But the main thing is the food. You know, the concierge is there. If you need anything at all, if you have any questions, they come by often. They ask you what you're doing. Do you need any help obtaining lightning lanes? Do you need any help obtaining tickets to the park? Do you have any questions about the park? What time it opens up? Anything and everything, they're just dedicated to you specifically. So it feels like a more personal experience, a more one-on-one experience. But I guess if you're really going to talk about,
Well, they have a TV up there too
See,
for
I
like
want
the
to stop
kids.
1 second really quick there. You said help obtaining lightning lanes. So is this just somebody to teach you how to use the app or do they have a little edge?
I don't think they have an edge. I think it's mainly there if you have any general questions. I don't think you're going to jump. You're not going to jump anybody in line for getting a lightning lane. You're not going to. They don't have like a separate pile of lightning lanes for club level. Nothing like that. But it's just
I know
if you
that
have
like guest relations. If you walk into guest relations, they can sometimes hit the God button to give you things other people can't. And I was just curious if maybe the concierge had some similar access.
little pixie dust action, but I don't think that's what they meant by that. But they're just there. You can leave your bags up there if you want to just wait for your room, or you can take them down to Bell Services. But you can kind of tell, right? I mean, like I said, even before we got into the actual resort, it was going to be a different kind of a stay, just a more personal stay. But I would say, Phil, like what you were talking about, when you do the price comparison and you're looking at what is actually offered, the meals. So there's 4 different meal offerings that they have. They do have a breakfast. This goes on all day from 7 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night. They have a breakfast, which is called Adventurous Awakenings Breakfast. That's from 7 to 10:30. And just to talk about that a little bit, I mean, they had different things every day. So even if you have like a 3-day stay at club level, it's not going to be the same thing every single day. They had eggs, they had bacon, they had your general offerings. They had a lot of the things that Boma would have on their breakfast buffet. The, I say it wrong all the time, boba tea. Did I say that right?
I don't know.
Boba tea, boba tie.
Yeah, they had croissants, bagels, muffins, cereal for the kids, bread, oatmeal.
They had sticky buns. They had bread pudding. I mean,
fruit,
they had
yogurt.
Beverage cooler with anything that you wanted in it. They had the orange juice, the pog juice, the milk, chocolate milk.
Coffee, tea, hot chocolate. espresso. I mean,
It was more than enough. I'm not
Yeah.
much of a breakfast eater, so for me it was more than enough.
So how big is the space, and was it crowded?
I'd say there was
20 tables?
maybe 20 tables, maybe.
There's a kids area like in the corner. They have another little mini TV, but there's some booths that are like around the outside. So it's like a nice place where you can go, you can plug your computer in, you can get some work done.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I would say about 20.
Maybe 20. It never felt
tables.
crowded up there, like it was too many people or anything.
Never an issue finding a seat.
No.
And does that overlook the Savannah too?
It overlooks the lobby.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's interesting. You'd think they'd give it a better view. Like if you look at the Poly Concierge, it's got all that glass wrapped around and it's a lagoon and fireworks view. You'd think that if they were planning that, they'd make the Concierge at least overlook the Savannah. Interesting choice.
And then they had, after breakfast, they have snacks. So it's just called Safari Snacks. So they have, you can have like your own like banana chips, and they had like these little turkey and cheese pinwheels, cut up peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Again, they have all the fruits,
Chips.
chips. I mean, it's all you can eat. So it's, you could take 3 bags of chips if you wanted to.
Oh, they
so this
also had
Concierge Level. Go ahead, Kathleen.
they had mimosas in the morning too.
Oh, I forgot about the alcohol is free too. So you do get the mimosas. They have sangrias, they have beers, they have wines. And then at night, I'll talk more about the desserts. They have cordials too.
So this is the club level that's for just Jumbo in general, whether it's hotel side or DVC. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so the Jumbo hotel rooms that are concierge are also on the 6th floor?
No. Those are on floors 4 and 5. The only rooms that are on the 6th floor are DVC club level. The ones that we can book on our points.
Okay. Because I thought that only the 4th and 5th floor were DVC rooms, but those are concierge rooms too for cash guests.
For cash, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
'Cause when I was there last week, I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge for a travel agent training, and Disney put us up at Animal Kingdom Lodge on the hotel side, and my room was on the 2nd floor. Oh, it was like kind of crazy because I'm used to it was a Savannah room, but I'm used to the Savannah rooms on DVC are up higher, and this was on the 2nd floor, and I felt like if a giraffe, I mean, granted they have the spikes so they can't get close to you, but if they could get close, I probably would have been like eye level with a giraffe if they could come over that way. So it was a completely different vantage point.
Oh, yeah. Did you take any pictures of the snacks?
I took video, so I'm going to put a video up on the Facebook group. But for each offering, there's 4 different offerings that they did throughout the day. I took a video of everything that they had. But like I said, that's pretty much like a general what they have every day, but it does change. Like the main stuff that they have every day, they do change it out. Because I know Curtis and Jacqueline from the Facebook group, they were actually there the next day, and they were already asking about the menu. And I know that night for dinner, it was completely different from what we had. And then breakfast the next day was biscuits and gravy. So they do rotate it. They change it out quite a bit. But after the snacks, then they have the dinner. It's called Twilight Offerings hors d'oeuvres. And that's from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. Generally, we had mac and cheese. We had all kinds of stuff. You could make your own charcuterie. They had 2 different offerings that I want to say were from Boma, or it was a seafood stew with a coconut rice. And they had a sweet and spicy chicken
With corn pudding.
over a corn pudding.
It was very good.
So it's different foods. It's the stuff that you're gonna probably be used to from Boma, but again, it's all you can eat. It's all free. You don't have to pay that premium price of $50 some for a Boma buffet. And I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought everything about that was really good. I didn't feel the need to make a reservation anywhere else or even go down to the Mara and grab a snack. Everything there was really good. And then the last thing that they had was the evening indulgences, which were probably about 6 or 7 typical desserts that you would find on a buffet. Any buffet that you go to, you have those little, what are they, like little cheesecakes, cookies. They had little brownies, like salted caramel brownies. You could ask for, they didn't have the zebra domes, but you can ask for those, and they'll go grab them for you.
There's also like a
Could I just get a case and a half of Zebra Domes, please? Just bring up as many as you can carry.
there was also a freezer full of Mickey bars, Mickey ice cream sandwiches, the strawberry bars. Just grabbing them. People
Yeah.
just grabbing them
I
couple
mean,
at a time.
you figure. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the alcohol because we all know how much a drink can cost at Disney. If you were to grab a mimosa, you're going to pay $15 for a mimosa. Sangria, same thing. You're going to pay $15 for a sangria, beer or wine. We know what that is. But even like a Mickey bar, what is it, like $5 for a Mickey bar easily?
Oh, it's more than that now. I think it's $6 or $6.50. I mean, it's getting up there.
Yeah, and so everything is just complimentary.
I mean,
Bags
I could
of
have
chips,
had 10 if I
fruit.
wanted to.
There's never a shortage of food. You never feel like I'd never in a million years would have made a reservation for anywhere.
No. I mean, even just the coffee alone. Or if you're a pop drinker or a soda drinker, just that alone. Water. Bottles of water. Just
Did your
being
Ohio just come sneaking out there? We heard
pop.
What'd you say? The pop? Is it called anything else?
that would be soda.
Some people call it soda. Some people just call it Coke.
No matter what it is, it's a Coke.
It's always going to be pop. But just that alone, bottles of water just handed.
I mean,
How many do you want? Here you go.
when you think about it, it's club level is you're going to get a studio or whatever you get. There's a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom also that you can get. You're going to get the same, you pay the same amount for the same points pretty much. Because in September, I was looking at it, you can get these club level studios for 18 points. But basically what you're getting is like an added on free dining plan. Because with those 4 meal offerings throughout the day, it's like 4 free meals, all you can eat snacks, waters, juices.
You know how they give you, like if you go through a fast food drive through and they give you like the cup holders with like the 4, they give you those to take to go, like of water or juice or pop or anything. Even when you're leaving for the day, oh, do you want that to go? They'll put it in a to go cup for you. They have like to go containers. You can take it back to your room. We saw a few people coming out of their rooms multiple times, just going, grabbing stuff and going back to their room and not even eating out there, just taking everything back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that sit out there all day long and don't move and just keep eating and drinking.
I mean, it's quiet. It's perfect if you do want to get work done, but there's no reason to leave.
No, there's really not.
It's so interesting that Disney included concierge or the club level rooms as part of DVC for Animal Kingdom Lodge. And I wonder why they decided to do it. And I wonder why they haven't offered that at other places. And I mean, because it really is such a good deal to be able to have food included in your DVC stay at a very reasonable points level, like lower than staying at some of the other resorts that are closer to the parks. I'm really curious as to what was the thought process that went into including some DVC rooms in club level and why we haven't seen that again in other places. Because there's club level in every deluxe resort. And maybe it's just that this was the first one that was kind of far enough from anything that they felt like it was an extra incentive for people to buy there. Because, I mean, Saratoga Springs is far from, like, relatively far from parks as well. Like, it's bus transportation to everything, but it's in walking distance or a boat ride to Disney Springs. So your food options are more plentiful. But, I mean, you do have so many great restaurants at Animal Kingdom Lodge. The fact that you can at club level get this free food and free alcohol is, I mean, it's amazing. It definitely feels like a reason to buy there because those rooms are really difficult to book unless you are an owner or unless you're a local who was able to do what you guys did and grab a club level room last minute when it becomes available.
Yeah, because even as an owner, we've seen people walk those reservations.
They're constantly walked for months.
So you can't, I mean, unless you've really dedicated the time and the effort to walking it for months. But yeah, we were lucky to get that. But we talked about like Animal Kingdom. Say what you will about it. I think Animal Kingdom is one of those places that people either love it or they hate it. But I think it has the best, mix of room categories. You could get value rooms for what, 8 points, 7 points, and then all the way up to the club level, or not the club level, but the Grand Villa is what I wanted to say. We've seen that Grand Villa too in September be 60 some points for a Grand Villa. So now you have club level 2 thrown in with that, where you could possibly get it anywhere between, I think, 18 points all the way up to maybe 30, depending on where you're at, what month you're in. But it's really hard to beat that.
Also the one good thing about it is you don't have to wait until your room is ready to get all these amenities. As soon as you get there in the morning, you're up there, and they hold your luggage for you, and you just can stay there until your room's ready.
Not just the day that you get there, but the day that you check out too. You have the entire day to use the amenities, the whole entire day. Yesterday,
we could have stayed there all day and night. We had access to it on the whole day of checkout. I mean, that's like 2 full days. That's crazy.
The math is throwing me. I get what you're saying about it being a great value, and I can totally understand it. But it's weird how my brain works with a cash stay versus a DVC stay. If I'm staying cash and I can see the value I'm getting out of the meals and the waters, and I mean, my kids can spend $50 in Mickey ice cream bars in a day without even blinking. Never mind the waters they take 2 sips out of and disappear, and the meals that they don't eat and everything else. But when I'm staying cash, I have a number in my head. That's what I'm going to spend. And if I can offset the cost of the meals against concierge, it makes sense. But I'm looking at the point charts now, and the upgrade from a standard Savannah view to a concierge is more than 35%. It's a big jump in points. In my head, with points, just immediately goes to, that's 35% less days I get to spend on property. So it's interesting to me trying to make the comparison between the two. I could make the argument for one, but I just, when I'm looking at my points, I don't think of the offset versus food. In my mind, those points are dedicated to nights and not meals. So I'm trying to make the two come together, and they don't compute the same in my head.
What's the difference between a Savannah View normal room and the club level? Because I feel like the majority of people who stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge are going to get a Savannah View.
So if you're looking at a studio, let's just say the September timeframe, because I can go right across. It's 13 points for a Savannah View. It's 18 points for a concierge. That's 5 additional points out of 13. That's a big jump. 1 bedroom, you go from 27 points to 38. That's 11 points out of 27. That's like 38%, give or take. 2 bedroom, you go from 35 to 51. It's a significant jump per night to get up to concierge. So you're giving up a lot of potential nights if you were to go for multiple nights in a row. You're going from a week down to 4 days. You're getting food, but you're losing 3 days.
But if you were to compare it to, say, like a Grand Floridian for the same night, it's probably less points to stay club level at Animal Kingdom Lodge than it would be to stay at a monorail resort.
Let me pull up the other point charts and see what they look like.
I would be curious to see the difference between, in September, concierge at Animal Kingdom versus anything for that matter. I mean, I know Boardwalk is going to be lower. They're 9 points.
I know it. I can almost guarantee you that Grand Floridian and Polynesian are more points.
I think Grand Flo you can get for 16, but there's so many room categories.
Well, I'm looking at it now. So let's just say, are we talking deluxe studio to deluxe studio? Is that what we're talking?
Yeah.
So same September timeframe. A resort view at Grand Floridian is 16 points, and a preferred view is 19. You then go over to Animal Kingdom, Deluxe Studio. A Savannah View is 13 versus the concierge at 18. So you're paying an extra point to stay at Grand Floridian. You're losing out on all of that food. Now, if you could get both of them as easily, then it becomes a better argument. You can't get the concierge, but I can understand where you're saying the math works in your head. You're getting a lot more value for your money. It makes sense in that context.
Right.
Well, and I think that it always depends on like what people's priorities are,
Right.
I mean, because there are people who are, they want to go, they want to be on the monorail, they want to have a view of the fireworks from their room. They're willing to pay those points. You have somebody like me who is like, I want to stay at Old Key West for 9 points in September and stay for as many nights as possible. Then, and I also think the whole club level notion, I think also there are going to be people who wouldn't be willing to pay that because they might say, well, it's great because I can get some of the free food, but the reality is I'm going to rope drop and I'm going to be at the parks all day. So I'm not even going to be there to take advantage of the free food. There are people who are like, this is great because I'm going to go there. I'm going to get the food, bring it back to my room, go to the pool, come up, get an ice cream bar and a water, go back to the pool, come back up, get a cocktail, and feel like they have had the best resort stay ever because they've used their points and then they haven't had to pay a cent beyond that.
No.
And those drinks are so expensive. I mean, you're looking at like $17 for a poolside cocktail. If you could be poolside and go up to the concierge or the club level lounge and get a cocktail for free, I mean, you literally could end up depending on the number of people, if you're one person, you could probably end up saving $200 per person in a day just by eating all of your meals and getting all of your alcoholic beverages at club level. If you were
Yeah.
looking to have a resort stay, like a resort only day. But again, it comes down to how are you intending to spend the time? Because if you're not going to be there, then I think, Phil, your point is a good one. Why pay the extra points for club level? You could stay get a regular Savannah View studio for 13. You could go over to Old Key West, get one for 9 or 10 points. But it all comes down to your priorities. And I think it's perfect for someone like you and Scott who are like, we wanted to have like a work from home day and to be able to work from the studio and to work from the resort, get in there early and have a place to sit and set up shop is perfect while also getting food. And as Scott was posting every 4 hours, a different alcoholic beverage. It looked like a great day.
It was a great 2 days, actually. We saw many families though. So I'd like to know like what their routine was.
Well, that's what I was going to say too, because a lot of families, when they're visiting for that long, you're going to strategically put in a resort day, like a break. You're going to have a pool day. And if that can be your day where you have the amenities, the amount of money that you're going to save, like what Amy just said, even if it's not, and it's the next day, you might not be able to time it perfectly. Like what Kathleen just said, you're not just getting one day of amenities, you're actually getting 2 days of amenities for whatever the points might be. So you got to kind of figure that into the cost, the difference of it too. It's not just for that check-in day, it's for both days.
So real quick, I was talking to one of the concierge ladies at the desk, and there was a lady leaving to go down the elevator, and she had already checked out for the day. She actually was going over to Saratoga to check in that day, to check in over there. But she was still able to use those amenities all day, even though she was already going over to check into Saratoga. I mean, I know that's like a drive, but I think that's amazing to me. I mean, you're going to another resort to check in, but you are still able to use this all day long.
Well, that would be a great way to have it, is if you have a split stay, to be able to be hanging out at the club level, because it can be a pain in the neck during a split stay to have that time where you don't have a resort. But if you go up to club level, they'll hold your bags for you. You can sit there and eat and drink and just relax and not feel like you're in limbo. That would be, and then get the text that your room is ready and then just head over. I mean, that would be a great way to spend a split stay transfer day.
But we saw families there, and you could tell that they were up early, ready to go to the parks, because you could hear them talking about their park day. So they would get up and they would eat breakfast at the, whatever was offered. And you could hear them talking, okay, well, we'll come back later. We'll eat dinner here. And
they were planning their day around the club level amenities.
The offerings.
So they were getting up, they were getting the free breakfast. They knew they were going to the parks. They were taking all the snacks with them.
Oh yeah, they loaded up bags of stuff
So
like waters.
The kids had
and
the waters and the sodas and the chips and everything at the parks.
and they'll even come back. They'll like bring you bags. Like say, do you want to take this to the park? Here's carriers to take all the water. Like that one family we saw, they had like 4 kids, and the one guy gave them a huge bag with a marker with all kinds of water bottles so he can mark his kids' names on the water bottles. I mean, that's a lot of money right there.
Well, that's like I said. I mean, when you figure up the cost, I mean, for a family of 4 to go all day in the parks and, you make a dining reservation at night, you get snacks throughout the day, it adds up. But if you can plan your day around, already having that for free.
And they were taking bananas and oranges and
well, sure.
all kinds.
I mean, right down to candy.
Oh, yeah, they had candy too.
They had 3 different, candy dishes. And I mean, anything you could think of, they had. I mean, I think for the value of it, like I said, for using your points, maybe not necessarily cash. I mean, I'd have to do the math myself, but for points.
I can't wait to do it again.
See, that's funny because I'm the exact opposite. I'm still here thinking to myself, and I think it's how you view points in your head and how that translates. Because in my mind, I can make a complete argument on a cash stay for concierge, but my points are for nights. They're not for food, and I can't make that conceptual jump in my head. So it's interesting how in your mind, because of you guys being close and how you use your points, it makes a lot of sense for points.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it only makes sense on a cash stay. It's kind of cool how we view it so differently.
Before we start talking about our next topic, I just want to invite our listeners to go over to our Facebook group. Let us know if you've stayed club level at Animal Kingdom Lodge. Let us know how you use it, what your thoughts are about it. And if you don't already belong to the group, head over there and join the group so you can join in on that conversation. And with that, we're going to shift gears a little bit.
I'm thinking maybe, the more I'm thinking about this, and we were talking about maybe the Grand Floridian bar and lobby, and the more I'm thinking about this, maybe we should hold that off till we get a little more information. What do you guys think?
Yeah, whatever.
It's up to you.
I have one more thing to add about our stay at club level. We had a little gift in our room when we got there too. It was
yeah, I forgot about that.
You ever been to the ganachery at Disney Springs?
I have not been there, but I have walked past it.
They give you a little box of chocolates, of like 6 pieces of chocolates. So I thought that was nice too.
Little welcome gift. The rooms themselves are not any different.
It's the same rooms,
standard studio with the Savannah view, but it was just nice. You walk in, they have like a little personalized note for you and that little welcome gift of chocolates.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really cool stay overall. I mean, if we had, the other thing I was thinking, if we had points that were just, we had to get rid of some points, they couldn't be used, we didn't have a whole lot of time to use them, and I saw this come up, that would be, in my mind, the perfect way to use them because I need to get a glut of points off the books really quickly. That would totally make sense in my head to use it that way because it sounds like a really cool experience.
It is. I loved it.
It was really nice.
Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was a really good use. For us, it was a good use of points. And you could put, I don't know how many people can go on a reservation, but anybody on the reservation is entitled to use those amenities. So
I'm sure it's like all the others, right? You've got to be capped by the number of people that are allowed to sleep. So if you guys were in a studio, you'd be capped at 5 people on the reservation.
So even that, I mean, just throw some.
And it's 4.
Is it 4?
It's 4 at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, yep.
Those
I had the point chart for Grand Floridian still up. That's why.
So we could have added 2 more people to the reservation if we wanted to. I know Jacqueline and Curtis had one. They got a room yesterday. So today I think they checked out, but they were staying there all day. So
between the 2 reservations, we technically could have had 4 days between us, 3 days between us of using the amenities.
3 days for 8 people. You could have piled 8 people through that concierge club in 3 days. You could have made a substantial dent in the financials of Disney World in 3 days.
I could have completely filled my chest freezer with Mickey Premium bars.
Yes.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about Floridian or not? The more I'm thinking about it, the more I think that might actually devolve into a full conversation in and of itself. I think that one might be a little deeper than just a mention. What do you think?
That's fine with me.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine. I don't know too much about it yet, other than I just saw the concept art, and everybody was talking about the bar.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come down to the bar, the lack of a gingerbread house. Does the bar fit? Doesn't the bar fit? Do they need another bar? The orchestra? The more it goes through my head, the more I think that we're probably going to delve pretty deep into that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. Well, with that being said, we thank everyone for listening along. As always, we did not mention the fact that we didn't go back to our Sweet 16 because a couple of those still have not posted up either on the podcast or on the page. We'll have to hit on those again later. But if you guys could run over to Apple Podcasts, give us a like, a 5-star review, and you can even check in on how someone knows me as Angry Newfield Jr. from a different podcast. That was an interesting revelation. We would appreciate it. Amy?
And as I mentioned, we're on Facebook. You can join us over there. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And until next time, we'll DVC you real soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Oh, no, please, can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again?
Started this thing together, and that's how we'll finish it.
Because that, my friends, is where the magic lives.